Hello, everyone. I was walking home from work and I, oh, oh, hi. Sorry. Um, I was walking home from work and I began to think about some of the things that I had written down during my shift. Um, I was writing down about my experience this first almost 2 years now. It'll be 2 years in January that I've been working at a hospital. For those of you that don't know, this is the first hospital I've ever worked at. I've been a caregiver for over 20 years. And so, what I talk about here a lot of times has to do with health, our wellness, mindsets, of course, things about Jesus because I believe in him, and then other things related to relationship. And I also talk about things that are related to trauma and how to deal with trauma, or how I have experienced trauma or others' experiences. So I share a lot of different things about that. But anyway, going back to the beginning, this is what I was thinking about due to one of the patients that I had overnight. And just without too much detail, they had a lot of medical issues, as well as some psychological things that had affected their medical history, let's say. So, just it made me think about this particular gentleman. It was a man, and then another guy I had on another night. And I suddenly tied both of them together as I was walking home, and I started thanking the Lord, like, wow, I didn't really think about how much I have as opposed to them. And not that I'm like so much bigger than them, but just thinking about in a grateful manner, hey, you have quite a lot. You have the ability to go to work, come home, and you can walk home. That's what I was telling myself. And I'm just like, wow, yeah, I do. And during the night, I was getting really annoyed, honestly, about not the person per se, but just some of the things that were happening. And so as I was thinking about that, I was upset, but I was more upset about how the healthcare system is and how just things to me don't work properly, and how we all need more care, but there's not enough. With all the people that need care, there's not enough people to make sure that everyone has the care that they need, and they're not fully trained enough to really get in with every person. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense. But anyway, that's what my viewpoint has been as I'm working here. I'm not sure about anyone else, but this is what my experience has been. So, anyway, going back to the beginning, like I said, it just made me think gratitude, like, wow, you have so much. And I've considered when I was upset about little frivolous things now. But it was at the time I've been upset about, oh, well, I didn't do this right and this didn't come out right and I wanted this to go a certain way. But then today I was thinking as I walked home, was like, wow, these men would love to be able to, you know, go home and go to their place and just fix their food and not have anyone have to wipe them and clean them. And one man, unfortunately, he has what we call a colostomy bag, and it's just like, you don't have to do that. No one has to come and, clean that up for you and change you and, do all these things for you. And then I thought about one of my aunts who's no longer here on earth. She used to talk about she didn't want anyone to ever have to clean her up. And my mom also felt the same way. Um, so it's just, I don't know. It just made me really think, like, wow. And then I started thinking about another thing, your mindset. So it just spiraled over into, okay, your mindset helps kind of direct where you're going, right? Like your path. And it's just like, okay, well, whether I have a shirt to put on, whether I have shoes to put on, one pair of shoes, two pair of shoes, three or more, or if I have no shoes, if I have no socks, and I'm just stay with me. I'm being, really literal, but I'm just thinking like, okay, whether you have it or not, whether you have $5, whether you have $1, whether you have 1 penny, whether you have 15 cents, or whether you have 25 cents, whether you have $1,000 or $1,000,000 or whatever you have, it's just like, look at what you already have. And when you look at what you have, I'm saying to you, when you look at what you have and what you're able to do, it might make you step back and think, hey, I don't really have anything to complain about. I don't have anything to really pick apart, you know? And just like, are you able to breathe without having an oxygen tank on you? That's pretty big. Are you able to see clearly without glasses or maybe with glasses? And do you have glasses? Is your prescription completely like, it's up to date and you've already had your eyes checked? Have you been to the dentist and the dentist has done their work? And do you have brand new teeth? Did you get a brand new, you know, anything new, newly done cosmetically for your teeth, for your mouth, for your skin? Just can you hear well? Do you have to wear hearing aids? A few of my guys I've had have had hearing aids. And they have new ones now where you can they're a little newer. They almost look like a Bluetooth. But it's like, yeah, it's like, do you have to do that in order for you to hear? If you don't, wow, great. Are you able to go for a run whenever you want to? And no one has to take you. You can just get up, put on your shoes, your jacket, your whatever outfit, and go? Well, then, wow, that's great that you can do that. But a lot of the people I take care of cannot do any of those things. And like I said, it just made me think about how foolish, like my own mind, I start thinking about, oh, well, just random things. And I was thinking about how much I spent on some things that I really shouldn't have spent money on. But I thought about it and I was like, wow. And I used to think about, oh, it would be nice to win the lottery. And then I thought about some money that I had over the course of, let's just say, the last few months. And I was like, you had all that money, and what did you do with it? Yeah, I was checking myself. You had all of that money. Was it 1 million? No. But it was more than most people have. And what did you do with it? Some of it I did some good things with, some of it I didn't. And I thought about it, I said, wow. So made me think, okay, well, what would you do with 1 million if you have, let's say, if you have an extra $500 and you are not careful and mindful about that? What are you going to do with 1 million? Just something I was just thinking about, just like, wow, whether you have, and the point is, whether you have much or you have little, what are you doing with it? And where is your mind? How are you directing what you're going to do with it? Whether your mind is clear, if you have a mind that works clearly and you don't have any real, like, and I won't say real, you don't have to constantly try and make yourself think a clear thought. Just for example, a clear thought of, okay, I'm going to brush my teeth, and you actually go for it and you brush your teeth. Some people don't have that clear thought. They have a very cloudy brain. It's just, I don't know, these are just some things I'm thinking about. So anyway, that's all. And hopefully you will think about that as well for yourself. If you're in a situation, even when you're in the worst of situations, or what you think is the worst situation you've ever been in, you still have thoughts, and they can still be directed towards something better. Is it hard to think that way? Probably, when you're in the middle of something that is very unpleasant. I have been in some very unpleasant places, physically as well as mentally, as a result of being in a very uncomfortable situations that sometimes I put myself in, and other times it was someone else's actions that caused, some of the experiences. But even in those times, I still had a decision to make. At the worst of worst times, life and death, been in life and death situations. My choice, your choice, because I'm thinking possibly you have experienced something that has been very life changing, life altering, where it was literally life and death. You stood between, will you live or will you die? And you made a decision. Or maybe you know someone who's been in that situation and you saw them make the decision that they made. Which direction did they go? So hopefully today you will choose life, and whatever that entails for you. You make the best decision for yourself. Be encouraged. I hope that this, even though it was kind of jumbled and everywhere, I hope that you were able to take a moment and think for yourself, like, hey, what could I do and what could I focus on today? Let's focus on some gratitude. Let's focus on some thankfulness and a reason to look forward to something else. So look forward, be grateful. Okay. Have a good one. Bye.